beautiful souls. So that's the white dragon here. Listen, I almost said toxic relationships as my name. I waited so damn long for quiet. It was so quiet while I was having breakfast. And now you hear the rumbling of a bus engine. But I need to talk about this. Toxic relationships. They are now the talk of the town, the city, the world, etc. in most places. Despite the fact that this crap has been happening for a long time. Toxic relationships. Physical abuse, psychological abuse, or both. I experienced both when I lived in the homeless shelter for 4 years. And I can tell you that it completely destroys who you, I was going to say who you were, but who you thought you were. I felt weak and alone, friendless. The staff didn't care. They just wanted to make sure that they shook down everyone that they could. They turned a blind eye to this avowed murderer. I mean, he was a hitman. He was hiding out in the shelter because, as he said, he did so much wrong to people that he just wanted to keep a low profile. He had his own house. He owned his own home. He owned property in Tobago, the smaller island, etc. So, how did I get into that situation? As I said, I felt weak. I wanted someone who was strong. Not as an intimate partner, because that never happened during the 2+ years of pure terror, but as someone to lean on. He presented strength. He represented strength. This is the problem that we women make. And how did I get into it? I thought, I accepted when he said, you know, I want help. Please help me. And he started telling me his story. He didn't tell me about killing other people for money before, but told me about that later. And so, who I am, and because I needed this, I said yes. The only problem was that when this man came to me one day and said, what kind of man are you interested in? What kind of man are you looking for? And I said, well, a man who has goals, who owns his own car, his own home, he knows where he is going. Whether he's educated or not is irrelevant, but he loves himself the way he is. He knows who he is. Before I could finish saying half of what I just said, I found myself on the ground. He had hit me in the face. That's how it began. I spent 3 months having flashbacks of is that my bus? I hope not. I'm not ready to go yet. No, okay, it's not my bus. And after those 3 months, when I kept seeing, when the first blow happened, I didn't see that hand coming. It's in the flashbacks that I kept seeing the hand coming towards me. So after 3 months hiding out in the dorm, in the women's dorm in the shelter, I got my courage together. The staff didn't even come to say anything except for one woman. And they knew because it was reported. I heard other men on the other level in the men's section telling staff about it. Now, I decided to go to the police because I was not taking it. No one hits me. I've never been struck in the face, and this was just out of the question. So I got my courage together and I decided, okay, I'm going to the police. You know, it was maybe between 10 and midday. This man followed me halfway. He was drunk. He threatened me right there under a police camera. And I just pointed at him and he said, I don't give a fuck, etc., etc., etc. I went and I made my very, very first report. The abuse ramped up, and I felt so terrified that literally whenever I heard that man's voice, wherever, and he had a loud voice, big voice, even when he was speaking normally, my guts would literally turn to water. He would chase me down in the street when I was going somewhere. I found refuge in the library, right, to feed my mind. My legs used to shake all the time, every day, when I had to walk down and walk up those 3 flights of stairs, because I never knew when he would pop up, and I knew because of the thug and bully that he was, because he's dead now, that people reported my movements. I still went. So this is just to tell you all in a very brief way that toxic relationships, people wonder, and I'm sure I probably did before it happened to me, how do women get into these things? You see, it is because we see something in the individual that we believe we don't have. I didn't think I was strong. It's only when this man came with his big knife to stab me to death around lunchtime. Nobody squeaked, nobody said a word. Knife is just like, I don't know, just a few inches from my chest, from my shoulder. It was a big knife. And I stepped to him, pointed my finger in his face, and I said, no. Listen to me, after 2 years of terror, reports to the police shepherded me through the courts. He always knew when the court cases were coming, and I never knew how, but he never turned up. I would be with the warrants officers to make sure that they knew his location. Nothing ever happened. So on that fateful day, I stepped to him and I said, no, let me tell you something. You better kill me and make sure I'm dead, because I am going to get you if not. I did get him in the end.